I have to ask if it's time for the Lakers to maybe hit the panic button as you look at what February's been like for them.
I wonder did Nick hit the panic button considering he's not here. I feel like he's running away from me on this,
right.
considering this will be right up his wheelhouse. And the Lakers, but honestly, guys, I don't think that it's time to hit the panic button. They're 22-8. You're heading to the All-Star break. This is the time of year, whether you're a champion or a contender or even a young team, this is the time of year where things start to go a little haywire with the glitches in the schedule. And this is such an unusual season. But I will say this. The turnovers are an issue. Some of the personnel decisions that have been made are seeming to come up and haunt them a little bit. Dennis Schroeder's not there. Anthony Davis is hurt. You're putting too much on LeBron right now. Their defense, guys, to me, is the biggest thing. No JaVale McGee, no Dwight Howard, not even a Rajon Rondo who played better defense last year. You're starting to see some of those defensive issues creep up. That was the one thing that kind of held them together early on to start the season, even while the offense was getting itself together. But now that's starting to show a little bit. So I won't say it's a cause for panic, but I do think it's something where let's be honest about this, guys. They're not going to be afraid to play the Clippers. They're not going to be afraid to play the Utah Jazz. There's nobody in the Western Conference that they will fear in a 7-game series, fans or no fans.
But Vinny, so now you have a guy like LeBron James who is well-versed in taking over a team and saying, don't worry, I got this for everyone. But it's a lot, you know, when he's playing multiple 40-minute games, when he's this many years into the league at this age, it's hard for him to say, let me keep doing it. He was asked about it after the game. He, leaned into it and said, I'm resting now. I don't need to rest. Are you worried at all that this might take a toll on LeBron, who right now is the Lakers, especially while AD's out?
Absolutely, you have to be worried, if not at least concerned, because he's averaging around 39 minutes this month. That's leading the league when they've been very, very careful about managing the minutes that he's played. They're not giving him games off. One thing is clear, because he wants to catch Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the all-time scoring record, and that requires you to play as many games as possible. But they do try to get him rest in pockets of games to where he's not worn down at the end of the season. But the problem also is if you have a roster that's very LeBron dependent, with, you know, the Montrezl Harrells and the Taylor Horton Tuckers and guys that need LeBron to set them up to score and be effective, then you won't be able to survive if LeBron is not at optimum strength. You won't be able to thrive if Anthony Davis is not on the floor. And Brandon, you brought up a great point. This was supposed to be Anthony Davis, the passing of the torch, the Kareem to Magic in the late 80s when Kareem started to slow down and Magic started to take the torch. But either A, Anthony Davis wasn't as assertive, or B, somebody just didn't tell LeBron James that LeBron was not supposed to go off and get his 5th MVP, because it looks like LeBron is going for it. And I wonder if this stretch is either A, going to cement that for LeBron from an individual standpoint, while also simultaneously wearing him down enough or softening him up enough to where come the playoffs, come the Clippers, if they get healthy, if they get right, they will be just good enough to beat the Lakers. I wonder if you have to balance all these different agendas in the meantime, because the regular season games don't matter, but it's the priorities and how you play. The turnovers are a concern. The defense is a concern. They don't look like the same team. But again, it's February, not June.
All right, we got to bring Nick back in here. We had some technical issues. Vinny, only Vinny wants to know is whether Nick should be panicked at this point. He's legitimately concerned for you, Nick, so go ahead and address Vinny right now. He's legitimately worried that you might be panicked about your Lakers.
You know, I just wonder for folks who are panicked. And if you're watching at home with little kids, earmuffs for the little kids real quick, but they're likely at school right now anyway. The folks who are panicked right now, I wonder how late in life they believed in the tooth fairy. Because it's like, listen, guys, it's a tradition unlike any other. About a month before the Masters, a LeBron James team hits a bit of a lull. And as a kind of a sidebar tradition, we get to have this conversation. Is LeBron James playing too much? Is he working too hard? At the end of the season, are we going to get the best version of LeBron James? And I would just ask Vincent Goodwill or Brandon Marshall or anybody, when is the last time in the playoffs we saw LeBron and we're like, oh, man, he looks worn out? Was it the year he played all 82 for the Cavs in year 15 in the first game of the finals? He went 51-8-8. he didn't seem tired that year. Was it last year when he was the best player in every series he played in? Like, when are people going to stop falling into this same bear trap of, well, every other player in NBA history, this would affect them? He's better than all of them. He's more durable than all of them. He's more reliable than all of them. Yeah.
The Lakers won't make it out of the West, Nick.
I do think it's funny you bring up the 51-8-8 in a series that they got swept in. Like, I totally understand that, because that was one of the greatest games that I've ever seen a human being play, regardless of the circumstances. But you don't want LeBron to have that responsibility, A, because of the competition, B, because of his age. 2018 was a long time ago, and you should be trying to preserve so you can get the best of the rest of him. Nick, there's a reason why he's playing a career low in minutes up until this month. Now he's playing 39 minutes a game, which is leading the league. No matter whatever you say about his game and where he is and where he stands in history, Father Time is undefeated.
Okay, but, well, this Father Time is undefeated. It's a very interesting thing.
Not saying
I do wonder
that he's going to succumb, but you have to be careful.
Don't backtrack.
Okay,
don't backtrack,
I do wonder.
Don't backtrack.
If Father Time is undefeated, is going to be a take that is retired, along with the Jordan is the GOAT take when LeBron is all said and done, because Father Time might currently be undefeated, but it's the 11th round, and he's taken a lot of body blows thus far, because LeBron in year 18 does look as good as ever. And the 39 minutes, it's been a long time since our friend Vinny Goodwill was on this show, but I was ready for his little matador act with the numbers. It is accurate, but it is misleading. It's 39 minutes because the Lakers have played an absurd amount of overtime games this month, and your starters always play the full 5 minutes of overtime. One of those games was a double overtime game. So if you look at his regulation minutes, it's around 34, 35 a night. And if you guys think an extra 4 minutes a night in the month of February is going to wear LeBron down, I just don't know where folks have been the last 20 years. And I agree, Brandon, that for them to win the title in the postseason, Anthony Davis has to be very good, which is why the best thing that could possibly happen to them is the Nets somehow get out of the East, and they're trying to throw DeAndre Jordan and Jeff Green
up
at him
because
they got nobody on the inside to stop it. So I think
he can score 50, and if AD's not there, they don't have a chance.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.